Hello. This video I'm going to show you how to do your multiple regression analysis for English 292 and English 498. So in here you can see that I'm already in Excel. This is some data that I used a few years ago for a study, and I've already calculated the overall means for each individual person. I've showed you how to do this in a prior video, so I'm not going to reintroduce how to do this. But you can see here that I have three variables just like in your study, but my three variables are mobile phone, social life, and homesickness. And so what I was trying to do in this particular study was I wanted to be able to explain the amount of homesickness or how homesick somebody was by using the independent variables of mobile phone, addiction, and social life. Now, what I told you is kind of hard to understand. So one of the things I want you to do in your assignment is I want you to make what we call a model or a diagram of the actual regression analysis that you're doing. So if you look here inside Microsoft Word, this is a picture of what I just told you using words. So homesick is my dependent variable. Social life and mobile phone are both of my independent variables. Now, if you look closely, I hope you can see this. Inside homesick, there's a thing called R square. Now, R square is going to be important because R square tells you how good your model is, because R square can go from 0 all the way to positive 1. Normally, the closer your R square is to 1, the better your model is at explaining whatever it is. So we're going to use R squared to see how well we understand what homesickness is in this particular model. Now, other things in this is that we have mobile phone, as I already told you, one of my independent variables, and also social life, another one of my independent variables. Now, when we do the analysis, there are several numbers we're going to put into this picture that we're making. And right here, we got the beta. So the beta, or the B right here, it tells you the strength of the relationship between social life and homesickness. In other words, how much those two variables like each other when you have mobile phone in the picture. And again, we also have a beta here. And this number, which I will show you in the model in a minute, will tell you how much mobile phone and homesick like each other when social life is present. And then one last number that we need to find is what we call the R, the correlation between mobile phone and social life. And the R, which is different from the R squared, tells you how much mobile phone and social life like each other. So we have four numbers that we need to pull from our Excel analysis. The R square, which tells you how good the model is. It can go anywhere from 0 to positive 1. The beta, which can be, like I forgot to mention, positive or negative, and it tells you how much this independent variable likes the dependent variable when you're also thinking about this. Another beta, which tells me how much mobile phone and homesickness like each other when social life is present. Again, the beta can be anything from, if it's standardized, from -1 to positive 1. And then lastly, the correlation between mobile phone and social life, which again can be a number from -1 to positive 1. So if there are, I think this is clear, why don't we go ahead and do our analysis. So here we are, we're inside Excel. And like I already told you, I've already calculated the means for each of the variables. And so now I need to do my regression analysis. So I go up here to data, I click data analysis. And the first thing I want to do is I want to calculate the regression. So I go into data analysis and I click on regression and I click OK. Now let me clear this out for you because I already did the analysis previously. Now, the first thing I want to put in is my Y range. Now remember, if you look at the picture, my dependent variable or my Y variable is homesickness or homesick. So I'm going to highlight the homesick column. And I'm done with this. Next, I need to find my X range or my two independent variables. And again, if you look at the model, they're right here, social life and mobile phone. So I click here and I want to highlight both columns that have these two variables. So mobile phone and social life, go all the way down to the bottom. I'm done with this. I want to click labels because remember the first row has the name of the variable. And then after this, I need to do my output range, which I will put all the way here at the top so that we can see it about right here. Looks like everything is good to go. And now I'm going to click OK. Now I need to explain, there's a lot of numbers here you've never seen before. And I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as possible so that it makes complete sense for you. So I'm just making the columns bigger right now to help you out. All right, now here we go. Let's take it one at a time. The first thing, and I'm just going to highlight this so you can see it, you need to know what the R square is. The R square for our model is 0.14, which is not very good. Remember, the R square can go all the way up to +1. So this is not great, but hey, we're just going to report this, 0.14. So you can see it's right there. There we go. 0.14. Now, the next thing that we need to look at is we want to determine our coefficients here. So we need this information right here. Make this blue. So here's what's happening. The coefficient between we call it the beta coefficient between mobile phone and homesickness is 0.29. So we're going to put that right here. And 0.29, like so. So basically what this means is that, oh, this is for a mobile phone. Sorry about that. So basically what that means is that when mobile phone goes up, 1 unit or 1 point on our Likert scale, homesickness also goes up 0.29 units. In other words, as people use their mobile phones more and more, they become more and more homesick. That is what that is telling you. Now, let's go back here and let's see if you can see here for social life is negative 0.14. So let me make this a little bit bigger for you, make sure you can see this. So our R squared, just in case you couldn't see it beforehand, was 0.14. Mobile phone, the beta coefficient, or the B, was 0.29. And then for social life, the beta coefficient is negative 0.14. So let me put this in our model. And so what this means simply is, when social life, the time people spend interacting with friends, etc., when that increases 1 unit or 1 point on our Likert scale, homesickness goes down 0.14 units. In other words, as social life increases, as people are friendlier, they have slightly less homesickness. However, as they use their phones more and more and more, they become more and more homesick. That is what the model is telling us so far. Now, there's one last thing that we need to find, and that is our R. To do that, we have to do something we've done before, which is calculate the correlation. So I go back to data. I click data analysis. You've done this before, so this is nothing new. Click on correlation, click OK. And now I need to delete prior information. Now my input range, I'm going to highlight all of my variables. So all 3 variables. Labels in the first row, and then I need an output range. I pick something. So we're going to put it right here. And then we're going to click OK. Now let me zoom in so you can see this. And now what we need, in case you're confused, we need to know the relationship between mobile phone and social life. So if you look closely, mobile phone is here and social life. So mobile phone and social life, the relationship is 0.09. So 0.1 or 0.1 to make it simple for us. So 0.1. So this is good. There's very little relationship between our independent variables, which is important because they should be independent. Now, so your model is complete. We have the R, we have the beta for both of them, and then we have the R square. And now, what you need to do, and I will show you this in class, is not only do you make this beautiful picture, but you also have to put all this information into a simple paragraph. And I will show you how to do that in class. So I hope that in this video you've learned how to do a multiple regression analysis. In this particular example, we were trying to predict, or we were trying to explain what is making people have homesickness. And what we've learned is that mobile phone use, you use your phone more and more, you become more and more homesick. There's a positive relationship there. Social life, when you're more and more friendly with people around you, you have slightly less homesickness. And these two variables together explain 0.14, or the R squared is 0.14, which if you convert that to a percentage, it explains 14% of homesickness. That's how that works. In Excel, we calculated all of these numbers here using the regression analysis in the data analysis tool pack. The things you need to know from Excel for this class is the R squared, notice how it's in yellow, mobile, the two variables you have, so mobile phone and social life, and we call these the beta coefficient. The rest of this information is beyond the scope of this class. So I hope that this video was useful, and I thank you. Take care.